being the richest person in the world kind of like makes it easy occasionally to just make things happen that are important to you, it seems.
That's true.
I really like that meme where Elon Musk becomes the Karen of Twitter and she wants to speak to the manager.
He just buys 10% of Twitter and is like, I want an edit button and you're adding it, bitch.
Yeah, he's the largest stakeholder in Twitter now by a long shot, apparently. I think the other two.
Yeah,
like,
I was reading.
Circle back to Ed, but I'm really curious how Taylor's response, feels about Elon Musk buying Twitter.
It depends if it goes in entertaining direction, frankly. Like, if nothing ends up happening from it, who gives a shit? If he starts like, Trump, you're back, baby, then I'm like, hell yes. That's so much better for the platform. Get Trump out there. I'm back. Like, he just tweets something.
What if that was his first tweet? What if that was his first tweet? I'm back.
He would get right back into it. He'd be like, Joe, finding out quickly that presidential 15 in the first year. Or like making fun of him getting fat or something, gaining weight. He'd do something.
You know how Trump could get your vote, Taylor? I've
already said solidarity with you. I'm never voting again.
Okay, but here's how I could convince you to vote anyway, to break your pact with me, the fellow.
Mm-hmm.
I would be Trump's campaign manager. The first ad would be him losing as the Trump, everything was stolen from him, to like huge orchestral music. Think like Lord of the Rings here, like when Gandalf falls to the Balrog. Okay, like that kind of scene, that kind of setting with the music. Joe stealing the election, lots of that, lots of devil eyes I'd put in them, but you know that little glint where you're not sure if that was a reptilian or not. I'd throw a lot of those in.
Like one frame things where it goes from Joe Biden's face, one frame of a swastika and back to his face.
Real subtle. He gets those goat irises where like
just one frame in the whole video. And Joe looks confused, and then he turns to Goat Man, and then he goes back to doing what he's supposed to do, what they want him to do. But there would be a part, Taylor, where like everybody would be like, you'd show the crying Trump fans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you'd show the cheering, like purple-headed fat women and all that, like cackling and stuff.
Yeah.
And then there'd be a moment where like the music really dropped, and like the whole screen's washed out white, okay? And everybody's shielding their eyes. They're not sure what they're looking at. And you hear Donald Trump's voice. And he says, I'm not Donald Trump. I'm Donald Trump the White. And he's come back. No dye in his hair. He's taking it seriously now. He's Donald Trump the White, okay? He's pulling off full Gandalf.
He's in Gandalf's robes, but he has a hood.
He has the hood.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He's got it up.
This was a genuine oversight by the costume people.
See, that way you get your dog whistle in, okay? You get the Tolkien voting block. Very important voting block. All right, you got to get that.
That's what I'm a member of.
You just lock the whole fucking thing up, honestly.
I'm excited about your fake video.
Yeah, I really got to learn how to like do some sort of video editing or something so I can make these things happen.
Yeah, you got to pilot that out, see how people feel. Just test it to a few.
I'm thinking claymation.
Oh, yes.
I was with you until then. There's something about claymation that upsets me.
That is the worst idea.
A stop motion sculpting effort is.
All right, well, I'll just return $8,000 worth of video equipment that I built this whole joke up to promote. Okay,
I would like if Trump
channel.
Trump becomes like he'll only now be on TV deep faked onto John Cena's body. He's tired of the jokes. He wants to be jacked.
And that's the only way.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, have you seen him recently?
Yeah.
He's lost. Our theory was right, or maybe it was just my theory that he was going to lose a shit ton of weight right after he lost the election.
Wow,
that's last week, folks.
I think he could pick up porn stars nowadays.
In a robe. Yeah.
Wow. You've never seen this picture, Taylor?
No.
Oh, this picture made the rounds as he was running the first time. It's just like an embarrassing photo, but it didn't stick.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything embarrassing about it.
I mean, it's not Burt Reynolds on a bear rug. I mean,
I don't know who
just looks like a guy on a bed.
Yeah, he's just. I mean, it's not like a good picture or anything. It probably wouldn't want people to see that one. You go through your camera roll after you take a bunch of pictures on like a summer day out with your girlfriend. Mm-hmm. You're like, all right, like 80% of those made the cut. Like, maybe not the one where the bee chased us. Okay, that's the bee.
That's what it is. Yeah, it's not super embarrassing, but it's also not flattering.
To answer the Elon Musk thing, I hope he like brings Trump back. That would be so good. So that would be a very entertaining timeline. That would be fun to watch.
It would, yeah. I saw this. It was a meme somewhere, and they're like, so Jeff Bezos buys the Washington Post, one of America's major newspapers. Bill Gates has contributed something like $100 million to different journalists and such, and then Elon Musk buys Twitter, and it's like the American oligarchs are owning our information sources.
Yeah, that's not new.
It just got more though, right? Like to buy Twitter is a big deal.
How active are you guys on Twitter?
Oh,
I post every month.
Every month. Yeah. Mostly it's a place for like joking every so often, but hockey highlights for me.
Every time I never post anything on Twitter, but I like to go there to read, and it always like makes me upset to like see like there are people who think a certain way, like oh, that person's just like so different from me. They're almost like a different like species or something. I don't know.
You know,
a lot of people feel that way, but Twitter doesn't get like me that way at all. But I'm not immune to it though, because maybe last year Facebook would all the time. Now I watch a podcast where I don't know why I'm pimping them. Do you guys know the Breaking Points podcast at all? Are you familiar with this?
No. Familiar.
So they're a news podcast. Their whole spiel is just ripping on mainstream media about how dishonest and how unfair they paint every story, while they themselves are dishonest and paint every story wildly unfairly. And it infuriates. I get my daily dose of being infuriated at someone on the internet from them. And YouTube has figured out this dumbass will click on every video they put there. And off I go.
Yeah. It's easy to like get yourself upset about stuff that doesn't matter at all. Like I did this to myself like a week ago. It was because like, hockey is different from the other major sports in that in football, there are a ton of huge metropolises where that's the biggest team. So there's a huge Baltimore journalism presence for the Ravens. There's a huge presence for the Raiders, whatever the hell. In hockey, it's so much less popular that you only get huge news from Toronto media. So everything is about the Maple Leafs all the time. And like, I got genuinely mad because all these Leafs fans were like, Austin Matthews is better than Connor McDavid, which is going to mean nothing to you if you don't know the hockey world, but it triggered me real good. And I was like responding to journalists like, you clown, you fucking clown. That's so wrong. Here's their stats. Here's this. And I kept getting blocked by these journalists. I'm like, all right, I'm going to be less aggressive. I disagree with your take. Here's their past 3 years of stats. That guy blocked me. And so I'm just getting blocked all over the place from Toronto sports media for being like, Connor McDavid's obviously better. He's the best player in the world, bar none. Stop your Toronto cope. Is it that bad that you have the second best player in the world? Can you celebrate that? No, he's got to be the best. And it just like better. That couldn't matter less in my whole world. Mm-hmm. And I got mad about it for no reason. And it just shows like you'll find a way to get, if you're in an agitated mood, you'll find something to get.
But it kind of looks good on paper, I'll grant you that. But if you actually watch the games, it's all about Austin.
Yeah, I'm not getting sucked in, man.
Found his hot button.
It was a hot button. And I know that like a couple of people were like trolling. Have you ever been trolled, and as you're being trolled, you can't help but respond? Like someone like in quasi earnest being like, just take a look at Gretzky's numbers this season compared to Austin Matthews. And it's like, no, it's not even close. But I know you're lying and it's still getting to me. But I know what you mean. I don't listen to political podcasts. That sounds miserable. But if that is the way you say it is, it doesn't sound fun to listen to.